My mom summited Everest 9 times.
She is in a league of her own.
She really wants this to be the summit where everything starts getting better for our lives.
Lucy, I had to talk with you initially about the film in Sheffield, in England. And you were telling me about how emotional that was for you when you first met Lhakpa and realized, yes, we're going to be able to make this film together. Why was it so emotional for you?
If ever someone deserved having the best documentary made about them, it's Lhakpa. And I was aware that I have a kind of unique qualification, which is I made another Everest movie back in 2006, a film called Blind Sight. And shooting that in 2004, I spent 6 months in Tibet doing 2 Everest climbs, which is actually how I first heard about Lhakpa. And I had really figured out during those 2 climbs, the first climb was a kind of training climb, and then the second climb I kind of tweaked it in terms of how to shoot an expedition, even though Lhakpa said, I have no video or photos of me because when she left her house, she had to leave everything apart from the girls. And I said, don't worry, I bet we can track it down. And we did. And so I thought, well, between all that, I feel like I'm the right filmmaker. And so that recognition of that responsibility was immense and emotional. And it just felt absolutely meant to be.
Well, you definitely were the right director for this, as we see. It's so exceptional, so extraordinary. Lhakpa, and when I first saw the film, it's like you're just so extraordinary a person, so charming, so lovely, and you've overcome so much, as we see. I wonder to you, what do you think of as kind of the biggest obstacle you have had to overcome in your life, both to climb and just to achieve sort of your independence as a person?
I just want to say thank you so much in coming here today, watching my documentary. Thank you. I'm so happy if support my documentary. Thank you so much. I'm very happy, you know. How can you do? I say my daily life, you know. My daily life is what can I do? I'm very happy. Nick Phillips is all over the whole show. I work so hard because I want to change my life, and my daughters, need to go in college. I taught them my best, that is life. It's work very hard.
Well, it's really inspiring, I'm sure, to so many people who've seen it and will be seeing it very soon when it releases on Netflix at the end of the month. Shiny, your mom in the film fairly early on describes you as domesticated and as a zoo tiger. Did you feel that at the time as you look back on it, and how do you feel now about yourself?
Before going to Everest Base Camp, I mean, at first I didn't want to go, but Lucy pushed me to. It was scary. I never, when my mom would go and climb, she would leave my sister and I, and we wouldn't really know much about what she would be doing. It was scary at first, but I think being by my mom's side and with my family around me, it gave me the confidence to keep going. And yeah, I was just really grateful to have experienced it.
It did seem life-changing for you. And Sunny, it's really touching to see your story. And I wonder what both the film, but also now that the film, it premiered almost a year ago at the Toronto International Film Festival, what that whole journey has been like, both the film and afterwards, now that so many people around the world have seen it. How has that changed you?
It's made me more mature, and I understood my mom's story, where she's coming from. My mom's 10th summit, I thought, was not going to be her goal. I thought she was just going to keep climbing until her goal of climbing Everest, and when she's an old lady, she says.
So you had no doubt that she was going to continue to climb. I think, Lucy, that there's a theme of power that really is woven throughout this film. And I wondered, at what point you sort of recognize that is, in a way, the through line of a woman who was growing up in a very, very patriarchal culture, and then she intersects with this man who's not from the same culture, he's from Romania, and yet essentially the same things happen of this deprivation of power and suppressing her, and yet we see her push through. So maybe you can comment on that as a thematic element.
That's such a great question. You know, I kind of always felt that. That was just innate for me. Maybe because I'm a woman in a male-dominated field, maybe because I've spent time in that region. I just felt that the summits of her life and the sense of what she was standing up for and fighting for, and so clear and self-possessed about wanting to change. I mean, that footage, I was determined to get a hold of, like, the dailies, because she hadn't, even though there was footage filmed of her in that time, what had wound up in the finished film did not do justice to her. And fortunately, after enormously long time campaigning, we got the dailies. And then you see this young woman, young Lhakpa, just clear as a bell, right, with this mission and taking on the power structures that are so entrenched and invincible. I mean, talk about inspiration. And when she says, you know, as a young woman, I think it was so powerful as well for her daughters to see it. Like, are you afraid? And she says, no. You know, how are we going to move forward if you're afraid? And like, wow. And to see that she really had this very clear mission of changing things. I mean, that did not surprise me, and that was always part of the movie for me. The summits of her life, not just the climb. I really wanted to shoot the climb. I kind of really insisted when we didn't have much budget. We fortunately sold the movie to Netflix, which is incredible, and it's going to be the first movie that's ever subtitled in Nepali, and it's going to be shown in all the countries, and it's unbelievable, dream come true. But at the time, like the fairy tale, we were Cinderella with the shoestring, and we didn't even necessarily have the budget to shoot the Everest. But I was like, we definitely want to shoot Everest, but I definitely want to show the whole power, you know, of the story, because that is the point. You know, climbing Everest is okay, but Lhakpa has something to say, and that's what we're here for. And yeah, I didn't anticipate the gorgeous stuff with the kids and some of the other beautiful things that unfurled, but the power was always, for me, just so fundamentally like why I wanted to make the film as well.
And Lhakpa, as we see in your film, you know, if you had gone by the sort of regular structure, if I could put it that way, of your society, of your culture, you would have never been able to summit Everest. You would never have been allowed to climb. But that's not the only way in which you really defied your culture. You mentioned in the film that your parents, you know, they got together through an arranged marriage, and your siblings. And Lucy was telling me this, that I think it was your mother or grandmother said that, well, no one's going to want to marry you because you are too large for a woman, a Nepali woman, and you're going to eat too much and too much cloth. You would need too much cloth to clothe you.
Yes, you know, I'm a little bit tomboy. So, you know, my mom, I'm very tall, look like my dad. You know, it's also Nepali woman, very short side. I'm very tall, look like a man. You know, it's a very, they see it, me wear woman, a very tall woman. You know, I not listen to my mom's mouth. You know, my mama said this way, I go other side. You know, my mom all the time tell me, you know, I'm love to adventure myself. I want to explore. You know, I know how to be school. And my mama no see the beautiful mountain round and the beautiful view. I'm morning look like a rooster. I wake up, I go and hike upstairs, no breakfast for me. I was just looking at this beautiful valley in the mountain and the animals coming, the bird fly over the mountain. You know, that is, I see this beautiful natural view. I never no see. And I talk about it, my mom and my sister, this kind of things look like a television. They don't believe me, you know. She's going more cuckoo now. She going up in the mountain. She coming cuckoo. You know, they say, you know, that is. And my mama say, you not listen me, you know, because one day you born your children pay me back. And my guy, I told, oh, I never know marriage because I'm too tall. Because she told me, I'm too tall, you know marriage. I never know marriage, and my children never know pay me back. Yes. And I know, I have children. Oh my God, my mama told me this, pay me back. Dad, my American 3 children, pay me back, I'm so difficult in American children, teenager girls go up, no easy, no joke. For me, it's more the mountain, I'm Summit Mountain K2. K2 is no joke, also teenager, no jokes, very difficult in control, yes. And very handled, very difficult children, but they love me. I really love my children. We are look like no mama. We are look like almost friend now. Mama, I want to go hiking. 50 state highest point. I want to take. Yes, I will take you. I'm at the coach. You listen me. That's just part-time job, okay? Part-time job is to go hike with me. You go into focus the school too. They're really good girl now. Really, they're coming very nice girl back. I'm so happy.
That's wonderful. Let's all thank Lucy Walker, the director, Lhakpa Sherpa, Shiny, and Suni.
Woohoo.